So this is Gordon Pepper, and we are here live at Lodi Lanes at 11 o'clock at night. Woohoo! This is for the World Championship Series Northeast Heavyweight title on the tag team side. I should say, not just the single side, the tag team side. Your champions, and they've held the belt for a while, Mass Destruction. The challengers are from the Northeast, they're Arsenal, and this is the first tag team that has come from Northeast New Jersey. Arsenal is the first place squad from there. They won the district last year. They're currently leading the district this year. And doing a little commentary with me right now is the head of Messenger Mafia, another team in the New Jersey Northeast Division, Mr. Nick Hill. Hello, Nick.
Good evening, Gordon. Good evening, public. Let's get the great match going and see what's going to happen between these two powerhouses.
Yeah, they are. Arsenal is led by Nick Gavrin, who just opened. Mass Destruction right now. Primetime is leading off, and he started with a strike. Now, here's how tag teams works. You have to shoot 3 frames, or the first bowler. After that, you can tag to your partner. You must tag 4 times during the game, and it's got to be 4. And right now, Mass Destruction is mass destroying at this point.
Yep, they are up 2 strikes to none. Gavron's coming back up on the other lane to see if he can make an adjustment from his split.
So you have Tyler and Matt over from Mass Destruction. They are your champions. You got Nick Gavin and Audrey Snell, they're the challengers. If Arsenal wins, it would be the first time that you have a female bowler on the Uncapped or heavyweight tag team side that has actually won the belt.
Yep, wow, stone 9 for Nick Gavron on the shock. And I think she can definitely hold her own in any position. I think she's one of the bowlers that can actually hold her own in whatever category she's in.
Audrey Snell actually climbed up both the Vixens and the singles list when she was on it. Nick Gavin making the spare right there. All 4 bowlers here can definitely hold their own. Gavin right now going to the 3rd frame. Arsenal down by 30 early, possibly 32, possibly even more than that, depending on what he does in the 3rd frame.
Yep, this is a big shot for him. He has to get this one down the lane to give them a chance. Let's see, he's coming up. He's about to... All right, looks tight, looks tight.
Wow, A-pin. Audrey said, I'm not exactly going to repeat what Audrey said. Little bit of an OMG moment there. Now, Tyler and Matt have held the belts, I would say now for close to a year at this point. Matt, how long have you held the title for?
Since January.
Yeah, so close to a year.
Yeah. Yes.
So I know that you attended both Mega Bowl and Battle Bowl. We got a couple matches more, then you're going to go back to Mega Bowl. What's your thoughts on that?
Just take it one match at a time, you know? It's always one match at a time, you know? We gotta get to this match first, and we gotta worry about next match, and then March is a long time from now, so.
All right, I'm gonna let you go look at your, oh no, don't turn around, don't look at, you turn around.
4.
That we are doing midnight bowling or maybe midnight golfing. We haven't figured that out yet.
Is it the mush of Gordon yet?
I've been here for the whole match, so it's not the mush of Gordon. Could be the mush of Tyler going, what the heck is this? Now, I'm curious as to why you took this match Tuesday night at 11 o'clock in a bowling house around 2 hours away from you.
Don't ask me. We're not afraid of anybody at any house, you know. We don't mind they bowl here. We bowl here plenty of times also, so we feel like it's kind of like a fair deal, you know. I don't mind traveling, bowl a match.
That's true. Lodi Lanes is a very bowler-friendly house. They've hosted a lot of UBA events over here. Been a number of World Series title matches here. I know that you've been here a number of times.
I think we bowled 3 of our title matches here, so we're very familiar here.
Now, obviously, you've gone 3-0. Tyler right now deciding, well, Matt's in the middle of the interview. He's making us look good. I'm not tagging. Matt goes, what happened, Tyler? And Tyler goes, what? Me? I don't know. Who, me worry? Tyler's doing his best Alfred E. Newman impersonation right now. So, however, Nick has made the change early in the 4th frame. Now, just remind everybody that's watching, you must make 4 tags. So Matt is going to show up sometime during this match, at least twice. And here's Audrey's first shot in the 4th frame. That looks good. We may be seeing Audrey here for a while in this match while we try to figure out what Nick's doing. Now, because Nick started the match, he's got to throw the last ball in the match, and he's got to show up at least one more frame. If Audrey throws another strike here, I'm guessing you may only see Nick for one more frame and maybe the last ball in game 1. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts? Let me see that after the shot.
Oh, that looks good to me. It is. Nick says, pull me up.
I said Nick hadn't thrown a bad. I mean, other than the first frame, his other 2 were solid 9 solid, so he's throwing it good. But sometimes, you know, we need to make that change to someone else just to see what they have, what their look is.
Mass Destruction, you guys are currently up in the match despite the 4-3. Oh, FedEx. A little Federal Express action right there. Mass Destruction up by 1 pin as we go into the second half of game 1 for everybody that just joined us. And we got some people here. Hello, peoples. I don't see the chat room yet. I'm going to assume that I will be seeing a chat room momentarily or whenever we decide to do it. So MD up. I do not see Malachi Moore. I'm pretty sure he's going to be watching the stream, though. Malachi Moore, former Northeast Cruiserweight champion and president of Mass Destruction, right now 3-9. Back a little bit, double wood. And as you can tell over here, because it's a Tuesday night at 11 o'clock, there are certainly lots of bowlers that are currently here watching this. Hi, Audrey. Where's Tom Twist? I don't know. I know he's somewhere around here. Tom can hang out with us also. I mean, don't. Nick Hill's over here. You're hurting his feelings. Oh, you want Tom here instead of me? That's great. Thanks there, buddy. Oh, no. Don't come over here petting me, making me feel better now. No. I don't need snuggies from Nick Gavin at this point. Right now, Nick Gavin needs to figure out how to throw a strike, which he hasn't done yet. Audrey, on the other hand, is carrying the weight right now. Looking in there. Strike gives Arsenal the lead, and she gets it. Arsenal right now up by 13 as we go into the 7th frame. Right now, if you've noticed, each team has only made, well, Arsenal's only made 1 tag. Mass Destruction hasn't made any tags. Nick, what do you think about this strategy so far?
I think they should actually stay with her as long as they can and make sure that she's the hot hand right now. She has a better look. He'll eventually carry once he figures out the lanes, but she has the best look right now, and she's throwing the ball nice and tight.
Audrey looking for 4 in a row, doesn't get it. A little bit too high. Left a 4 pin, out of trouble.
Yep, out of easy spare, she can get this. They're up 30. Now it's up to Mass Destruction to see if they can get going. I'm wondering when they are gonna actually do their first tag. They're 7 frames in and they have not tagged yet, so that's something to watch.
And they got to tag in a hurry. And if I'm Tyler, I definitely tag Matt in there just to see exactly what he can do and what his look is right now. Because we've seen Tyler throw 4 strikes with 2 doubles, and we've also seen him leave 1 hideous mess on lane 37, which is where he's on now, and then he just opened in the 6th frame on lane 38. Not sure if this is the best strategy in the universe, but let's see what we got here. 7th frame, here comes Tyler. Oh, 7 pin. Now, this may be the time that you're going to see a tag, and there it is, tag number 1. Now, again, according to WCS rules, that is tag 1. Now, Matt's got to stay in and throw the first ball of the 8th frame regardless. So you can't just tag on a spare. Matt, of course, is a righty, so this is a good idea to do that, and you make a spare. Right now, 22-pin game going into the 8th frame. The challengers, Arsenal, are up by 22. Matt is going into the 8th. Again, right now, both teams have only made 1 tag. So you're going to be seeing a lot of quick tag action. Maybe a little bit of chicanery going on, but we always enjoy chicanery here. He's got to throw this ball. There's a strike. And I'm wondering why he didn't make that tag sooner.
Well, sometimes they're waiting to see, give your partner a chance to finish up, get back on track. Well, let's see what happens now. Arsenal's doing their second tag. Nick's back in. Let's see if Nick can figure out this left lane. They're up 2 going in. Everyone goes. Rocket to the pocket, first strike. Nick's on the board.
Well, Nick played the ball exactly how he should have played it, which is down and in. He didn't hook the ball out, which is what he was doing before, and he wasn't getting any action out of it. Quick tag, that's tag number 3 that Arsenal has. They only need to make one more tag, and then they're done. Mass Destruction still needs to make 2. Going into the 9th frame, Arsenal up by 20. Big frame here. If Audrey can get a strike, they cannot get shut out going into the 10th frame. Ooh, 10 pin.
All right, week 10. All right, Evie Phil. Mass Destruction. Mass Destruction has tagged again. Let's see if we can get.
Yeah, well, we'll see what they can do over here. The best that Arsenal can do at this point is a 216. If Mass Destruction goes out the door, it's a 214. I'm, of course, assuming that Audrey makes a spare. If she makes a spare, Arsenal cannot get shut out. If she opens, Mass Destruction can sneak in and lock him out in the 10th frame. Uh-oh. And, of course, the second that I say that she misses, and I'm going to get yelled at.
Yep, absolutely. Well, that is an open. Now they have to wait and see what happens with this ball.
Well, it's all Gordon's fault. Now the best that Arsenal can do is a 204. Mass Destruction could throw a double somewhere around here. They will take game 1. Tyler's in right now. There's a big shot in the 9th frame. Now they are almost certainly going to need to tag over here for tag number 3. They do. So Matt's going to start the 10th. If my math is correct, and it usually is, they're going to need the first 2 to shut out Arsenal. Because strike 9 spare is going to be a 203. Arsenal can go up for a 204. First things first, first ball up. No, that's not a strike. That's another double wood, 2-8. Now, again, according to the UBA rules, on tag teams, whoever comes in, whoever starts the game's got to finish the game. This is very risky right now on what they're doing. So Tyler is assuming that Matt's going to make the spare. If Matt does not make the spare, they automatically lose. The game is over, and Arsenal's going to win regardless of what happens. However, Matt makes a spare. You're going to have to make the 4th tag now. There it is. Tyler's now up. If he throws a strike here, that's 18. Actually, Arsenal's on an open, so 3 pins means that Arsenal's got to show up and throw a mark in the 10th frame. And that ball definitely looks more like 3 pins, and it is. Mass Destruction finishes with the 191. Now, what I was interested in trying to figure out here is who's going to throw the last ball for Arsenal. They're going to give it to Nick. I see what they're doing here. I'm not sure if I agree with what they're doing. But this for game 1, first one. Oh, he gets it. That was tag number 4. Now, obviously, they didn't do tag number 4 before the 10th frame. So the question was, do they rely on Audrey or Nick? The answer is Nick. And so far, so good. 8 pins here for game 1. And it looks good, and well, 8 pin, but that's okay. That's 9, that's good enough. Arsenal's going to take game 1. It's got a very entertaining first game here.
Absolutely. Went back and forth. Both teams gave themselves opened a little room to work with, and it was a matter of who could come up with the big shots at the end, and Arsenal was able to take out game 1.
Arsenal did. Despite opening in the 9th frame, they're going to take it. At the end of game 1, Arsenal 194, Mass Destruction 191. Arsenal up 1 zip. Now, because Tyler and Nick started game 1, Matt and Audrey must start game 2. Again, the rules are the same. Matt's got to throw first 3. Audrey's got to throw the first 3 regardless. And then they can decide to tag and do whatever they want to after that point, with the rule being you got to tag 4 times, so Nick will make 2 appearances. We don't know for how long. Matt starts up, first ball, bang.
Yep, they needed to start back out to try to build some momentum after barely losing game 1. Let's see how long they can hold it and whether Audrey comes out strong or not to start game 2.
Now, you and I have both been involved in tag team action, albeit on different tag teams. I got to a title match. I think you got very close to a title match. Do you think that Mass Destruction waited a little bit too long on Tyler before making the switch to Matt?
I absolutely do. I think that they should have probably done it a frame or two before, giving him a better chance to get locked and loaded for the second match.
Yeah, I was wondering about that also. You had 2 hideous opens in there by Tyler, and you can argue that one or both of them cost him the first game. 4-3 on a double, you lose a lot of pins. Off that 9-0, they win game 1. Audrey will make spare number 1 in game number 2. Arsenal right now and Mass Destruction both even as we go into the second frame. MD working on a strike, Arsenal working on a spare. Audrey right now, her UBA nickname the Black Widow. Black Widow up, looking to strike here, frame 2, there it is. Black Widow's biting right now, looking to inject some venom. That's a different UBA team. Into Mass Destruction. Pause. Hey, we do have some. Hello, Mr. Valdez and Mr. Hernandez. Yes, close game, good game. Joshua Valdez, no stranger to tag team action. And Julio Hernandez, the current Northeast welterweight champion. So they're both watching Mass Destruction right now. Matt with a double. Go ahead in the third frame. Now, if I'm Mass Destruction and I know that I need to win this game, depending on what Audrey does, I keep Matt in there for a while.
Absolutely. If he has a hot hand, let him figure it out and get you guys to a lead and hope that you can hold it out until your partner figures out what's going on with his shot.
Matt right now looking for 3 in a row. That nice way to start the game. No, sir. 10 pin. Grayuski right now, that is his last name. And I'm really hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Probably not. Matt right now looking to make the spare, and he will. So strike, spare for Mass Destruction. Audrey right now could take the lead with a strike here. That would put Arsenal up potentially by 1, maybe 11, if she can strike in the third and fourth frame. First things first, she's got to strike in the third. There's that ball that looks go. She gets the carry. Little sloppy, but it doesn't matter. Arsenal now, depending on what they do, could be up by 1 or 11 or nothing as we go into the fourth frame. She didn't even bother looking at Nick. She's staying in there. Now, it's 11:20 p.m. as we're recording this. And I'll mention this is not the latest World Championship Series title match we've ever had. I will go to that later. Right now, looking for the 7 to fall, it doesn't. Right now, theoretically, we are tied if Audrey makes a spare. Now, keep in mind, like you saw in game 1, you can flip and tag bowlers in the middle of frames if you so desire. Of course, the person that's tagged in to make the spare has got to throw the first ball in the next frame. And it looks like Audrey will make the spare. She does. We are also joined by Rudy Feliciano. Hello. Northeast social media coordinator. Good first match. Yes, it was. Match still is, I should say. What? Do I know what?
The belts say unlimited tag team instead of uncapped tag team.
Well, unlimited, uncapped, heavyweight, however you're right.
Unlimited.
Right now, this match is unlimited. The only thing that's limited maybe is the amount of time that we're allowed to be in this bowling alley at this moment.
We're good. We're good. Don't worry.
We're unlimited.
We're fine. We're
of course,
we're unlimited here.
Of course, I can also make a cheap plug for Lodi Thanksgiving Eve tournament here next Wednesday,
That's true.
where we are unlimited and we can stay open all night.
That too.
Excellent. I'll be here also. Nick, are you going to be here?
I will probably be here, absolutely.
Oh, so we're all going to be here having a good time next Wednesday. Cheap plug here at the tournament. I know it's actually very close to selling out. Usually gets sold out by this weekend. Right now, 4 frames, we're tied. And the one difference is Mass Destruction's up a strike to a spare, and they will take the lead if Matt shoots a strike here. Oh, very high, 4-pin. He's lucky that he only left the 4-pin. So Tyler right now, if we can take a little camera look over here, Tyler's just hanging out on the sofa. He's not moving at all. He's just relaxing. Meanwhile, it looks like Nick is going to come in with the first tag. On Arsenal, Mass Destruction will make the spare. Matt and Tyler are going to be figuring something out right now. Nick Gavrin in the 5th frame in game 2 for Arsenal. Gavin right now looking to make the strike. Stay tied. There we go. We're exchanging strikes and spares here. So like passing the Thanksgiving food all around. Yes, it's another cheap Thanksgiving promo plug. This is from a timestamp standpoint. This is the week right before Thanksgiving. And we know what both teams are wishing for. They would like the belts to join them during their Thanksgiving holiday feast, and one of those teams will actually do that. Gavin, 2 in a row, and now Arsenal's taking the lead. Arsenal up by 10. Matt is still in there for MD. What do you think about that?
I think they are trying to give him some rock and ride the hotter hand, but eventually you are going to have to get in your partner and give him a chance to help you out.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. You probably keep Matt on lane 37 because he's been throwing nothing but strikes there. Here's a 6th frame, and there's another strike. Now, this is probably where I make that tag because he's been struggling on lane 38. You got to make 4 tags anyway. So this is where I probably tag Tyler in and see what he can do. You're already, theoretically, it's tied. However, you are down by 10. And we have a booping from Nick Gavin. Boop. And I've been booped again.
I'm happy he's booping you.
I accept boopings from everybody. I think. Maybe. Matt right now still there looking to get the double up. He doesn't. Well, he's got a double. In this case, it's double wood, 2-8. Not sure I like that strategy, though, Nick.
No, I think it should have been time for him to tag out, considering he was already struggling on that lane. He got the ball out a little bit too far, came back, left himself double wood. Now, it is imperative that he picks up this spare to give them a chance to stay in this game.
Yeah, I probably maybe even would have had Tyler come in just to try to make the spare. Again, Mass Destruction right now, there's 3 frames left. They have not made any tags at this point. Now it looks like they're going to. Nick Gavin right now. And again, Arsenal's only made 1 tag also. So with 4 or 3 frames left, expect a lot of tagging going on. Arsenal right now up by 10, looking to expand the lead out with another strike. Here's Gavin. That ball looks buried, and it is. A little bit of a light hit, but it doesn't matter. All the pins are going down. Arsenal's now up by 20. There's tag number 2. And if Audrey can throw a strike over here, it's looking very close to 2-0 challengers.
Yep, it's definitely close to your foundation frame. Start to string them together, you can definitely put the pressure on the champs.
Ooh, a little bit high, 4-pin. Now again, Arsenal is at that point of the game, though. It's the 8th frame. If Mass Destruction is going to get back into this game, they've got to start throwing strikes, and more importantly, they got to start making tags. Because theoretically, tag 1, 8th frame, tag 2, 9th frame, tag 3 and 4, 10th frame. All right, Audrey makes a spare. Arsenal right now's got a 19-pin lead. Mass Destruction with 2 strikes in the 8th and 9th got to cut it to 9. And again, I'm not sure I like this with Tyler over here on the left-hand side, because Tyler hasn't been able to find it on lane 37. Matt hasn't been able to find it on lane 38.
And they're going to have to tag, so they're literally forcing themselves to make shots on their trouble lanes. Looks like we're going for a ball change. Oh, and I think we have a tag.
Well, there's tag number 2. Which again, I'm not a fan of this at all for the obvious reasons. You're putting each of them on the opposite lane that they're comfortable on. Matt will make the spare here, and again, according to tag rules, if you tag in the middle of the frame, you've got to throw the first ball in the next frame. So Grayuski right now, Matt in the hat, has got to throw the first ball in lane 38. Here comes the ball over here. Hey, finally gets a strike on there. Now we go to Arsenal's 9th frame. Now, the best that Mass Destruction can do in this game is a 227. Arsenal is, even though it looks like they're up by 1, they're also down a frame. So they can do a 248, which means Mass Destruction is going to need some help from Arsenal. Nick right now, big shot here if he gets a strike. There it is. That's tag number 3, by the way. So now all they have to do is tag it back to Audrey to throw the last ball, and they are good with their tags. Now again, Arsenal is up by 21. That one, it could be a huge factor in this game, depending on what Nick Gavin does here. If Nick Gavin throws the first strike, it won't be a factor at all because the game will be over. Here's Gavin, strike here, ends game 2. He gets it. Now I expect them to make the tag. They will. Right now, Arsenal is in the 230. Oh, maybe they're not going to make the tag. No, not going to make the tag yet. They want Nick to throw another ball. Nick theoretically needs 5 pins to end this. Gavin here needs 5, and he gets 10. Now they better make the tag over here, or else they're going to lose from a bad tag. So now Tyler's going to start the game. So if I'm Mass Destruction right now, you know the game's out. You can't win. So there's no reason to be doing tagging anything. Tyler right now, what he should be doing is figuring out what the heck he needs to do. So that is the game. Arsenal's going to finish with a 245. And Tyler right now is doing exactly what they should be doing. It really does not matter at this point. So they're going to lose the score anyway, so it really doesn't matter on the tagging. At the end of game 2, Arsenal 245, Mass Destruction 195. Arsenal is up 2-zip, and I see one Mr. Tom Twist over here. Hey, Tom.
How are you?
I am okay. Would you like to sit down and hang out and do some commentary?
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
I've never been one to do any kind of good commentary, so.
Oh, never. They say that.
So far. I was watching from afar.
Well, Tyler and Matt have been able to watch up close and personal, and so far they haven't liked what they've seen. Arsenal, their challengers are up 2-zip as we go into game 3.
Well, that's pretty good considering that they both bowled this evening and didn't really have a good result from the evening over here. So they must have figured something out along the way.
Well, Tyler, Mass Destruction, Tyler's hoping to figure something out. He has not looked good in game 1, and Matt has bowled the majority of game 2. Game 3, Tyler's got to throw the first 3, and obviously Nick's got to throw the first 3, and then they can make some tags. Now, what
a little crowd back here.
Yeah.
Some people back here hanging out watching.
Oh, there's people here. They were very loud and they were vocal.
Midnight on a Tuesday. 10, what have we got, 11:30?
Yeah, 11:30. I was actually going to say, even though I could be wrong here, and I'll explain why momentarily, that this could have been the latest that a title match has been, but we did a Saturday night at midnight at home field Vixen's title match between Kathleen Weissman. At that point, it was a challenger against Candace Parker, who's the champion, and Candace won. I'm sorry, not Candace Parker. That's a basketball player, Candace Little. Candace Little. Yeah, I just caught myself like, wait a second. Wasn't Candace Parker.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Candace Parker might be a good bowler.
She could be a good bowler, but it was Candace Little, who's been one of the best Northeast Vixens of all time. So, yeah, good job, Gordon. So, anyway, hello, Tylencia Wilson.
What happened?
No, I'm looking at the chat. So we had a good first match.
Yeah, anybody, anything good?
Julio Hernandez asking what's up.
So Julio, on Saturday. Hi,
Yeah.
Julio.
Julio Hernandez again just won the Northeast Welterweight Championship. So eventually he's going to be on here in a match soon, and I believe it's going to be a fun one. If I remember correctly, he's going to be defending against Ambiori Zarzuela, AZ of Latino All-Stars.
Yeah, it's coming up. I saw the list recently of all the matches that are actually happening. There's a lot of good matches happening here in the next month or so.
So really going to be good. It's going to end the season, and it could set a bunch of people up for Mega Bowl in a couple of months. And right now, what we're setting up for in Game 3 is a strike fest. Both Arsenal and Mass Destruction with the front three. Guess the question now is, which team blinks first? Tyler right now, 4 and 7 pin.
Lodi half 7.
So Wiggling 7.
It's usually the Lodi half 10, but he's a lefty, so I mean,
Yes, as a lefty here at Lodi, I've left many, many 7 pins. It is not fun. Good tag here. Matt is a righty, so it's going to be much easier for him to make that shot in terms of making the spare. And it looks like he'll do that.
something about the tag team that makes a team like Mass Destruction very, very difficult to come up against, because you can. It doesn't matter where you bowl. If you have a lefty and a righty on the team, you can make those switches and make different adjustments based on lefty, righty. You know, obviously the Arsenal has done really well here in getting ahead, but as everything starts to break down, they're both the righties on the right side, so it could change that quick, and then all of a sudden now Mass Destruction has the only one on the left side, so they can kind of lean on him and see where he gets it to. I know you have to make the tags, and you have to get the right people in at the right time, but still having a lone lefty on the pair could make a difference in the long run.
Oh, having a lefty on the pair is a huge advantage, especially when the lanes transition. The question becomes, is Mass Destruction still going to be around when the lanes transition? Because if Arsenal keeps doing this, there won't be a game 5, 6, or 7 for the lanes to be breaking down on.
I've seen Nick bowl a lot in his house, and when he gets lined in, he throws a lot of strikes. So Mass Destruction is going to have to do something really quickly.
Yeah, so they're keeping Matt in here right now. And look at the 4-pin. Matt has been very good on lane 37. Tyler was very good on lane 38. I sort of questioned their strategy in game 2 because they were putting each of them on the lanes that they were struggling on later on in the game, and neither of them could carry, which is why Arsenal had a little bit of a laugher in the second game. First game was tight. Arsenal only won by 3. Second game, not so tight. And Arsenal right now is throwing nothing but strikes. And again, we're at that point where Matt and Tyler are going to have to at least do something to put some sort of pressure, or we could see a 300 here. And not by Mass Destruction.
Well, obviously not by Mass Destruction, because they're already past that. But the difference with the tag team, and we've seen it, as we just talked about before, is when you have to make those tags. If you continue to go further and further down the road within the game, and you don't make those tags, it could also change things for your partner. So you have to make sure that you don't let your partner get too far behind with everything that's happening. So
I think there's been a Nick Gavin sighting behind you. I think you may want to say something.
No, I just like how he kept going with that and didn't stop. Just completely ignored me. Very impressive. I was molesting him.
Both Tom and I do have one thing in common, which is we enjoy ignoring Nick Gavin when he's behind us.
Oh, schnookums.
And that's one of the reasons why we ignore him when he's behind us. So Audrey, right now, I'm actually going to focus on the person.
You're having fun.
Yeah, but right now I'm going to focus on the person that's actually been bowling better on Arsenal's team in this match so far, and that's been Audrey Snell. Let's see here if we're going to continue. Audrey's looking for the front six right now. That would be Dr. Audrey Snell, and the second that I say that, she does that. Out of trouble here, leaves 2-4.
Right again now. So now here's,
I would like that.
here's the same thing that I was just talking about. When she sits for she just sat for the last three shots, at least. I didn't see what happened before that, but she sat for the last those 3 shots, and now she came up and she hasn't thrown a shot. So now she got up on that lane, and I'm not gonna say she threw a bad shot, but she was sitting for a while. So when you're sitting and so now Nick's going to come in now, but there's going to have to be two more tags here, right? That's
Yeah, and I actually would have put her on lane 38. She seems to have the better look on lane 38 than she did on lane 37.
So these guys have already made 3 tags. The mass destruction guys have already made 3 tags, which means that now they can set themselves up for the end of the game with somebody who's already got a better look.
Right.
I know Arsenal has a really big lead right now, but now Audrey's going to have to come in and maybe throw a shot again. On is not as much. She hasn't thrown as many shots as Nick has. So this could cause a problem, and they may have to go back and forth, shot for shot, and it could cause a problem for them in the long run. We'll see what happens here.
We will right now. Matt right now is up. A strike is desperately needed right now, and they have it. Mass Destruction is still down, but keep in mind they're only down 22 pins.
This might, and is this their last tag? If they have one more left, I don't know. But if this
Well, Tyler started it, so it looks like he's going to be finishing it.
okay,
And this is where they finish.
this out, which means that he's now got 3 frames in a row. If he puts 3 frames in a row together, he's going to put a lot of pressure on Arsenal to have to make these tags now.
Absolutely. 8th frame here is going to be critical because if they strike, obviously they maintain the lead. If they don't strike, they don't. But if they don't strike, all of a sudden you're looking at a 2-pin lead with Mass Destruction on a double going into their 9th, which means...
Bowler finishing out the game.
Exactly. So now this is tag number 3. They're looking for Audrey to continue. That she does. Huge strike. Now, here's the question. What are you going to do in the 9th frame? If you make the tag here, that's the 4th and final. All right, so both Tyler and Nick are finishing this one out.
I say they have no choice. They have to make this change now. And he's going to have to go on a lane that he hasn't thrown a shot on in three frames, basically.
Well, they do have a choice here because if you tag Nick, all he's got to do is throw the last ball at that point for the 4th tag. So
He can tag out to Audrey in
well, he can't now. That's tag number 4. They're done. But what I'm saying is that they could have kept Audrey on 38 and then back on 37, and then all Nick had to do is to come in and throw the last shot. However,
they're both going to have to fill it out, and Nick hasn't thrown a shot
Right.
on 37 in the last 4 shots.
right. Yep. So actually now they're talking. I'm sorry. That was only Mass Destruction only had 2 tags, so they have 2 more to go. So this is tag number 3 now for Matt, and this is right. So I guess that's what they're going to be doing.
Going to be where the pressure comes in now.
Yep. So there's that.
If they can throw the last 3, if he can throw the last 3 here, he's putting a lot of pressure on Audrey.
Well, Audrey's all done. It's now Gavin, and that's it.
Nick, who hasn't
Yep.
thrown a shot.
Correct. So Nick's got no. Yep. So Nick's got no choice. They're done. Mass Destruction is now done with tag number 4. So Tyler's got to finish out. And again, with them down 22, this is pretty much got to be a strike here. Oh, and it is.
He didn't like it when he threw it.
I don't think anybody liked it when he threw it except the pins. Yipes. However, that means that now Arsenal's got to show up in the 10th frame. If he didn't throw a strike there, Arsenal did not need a mark.
If he throws this next one, then he needs the first hitter. So we got two. We're going to go out for 56.
Right.
And even if he goes 9 square strike, he's still got 57.
Correct.
It's, still needs a lot here.
Yeah, he would really like that second strike, and this time it's a good one. He doesn't make it. No, and it's bad for a number of reasons, but the spare is crucial at this point. And I say that because if he makes it, Arsenal's got to get a mark somewhere along the line. If he misses it, Arsenal only needs to throw 9 on the first ball. They will win.
You are correct. The numbers are correct.
So he's got to make this one. He does. So here's the situation. Obviously, Arsenal wins with a strike. Arsenal wins with a mark. 9-0 is a tie, which means 2-frame roll-off. Anything less than that, and Mass Destruction will get on the board.
I mean, I would say that I don't think Nick's got a problem here. I don't think really anything else on that.
All right, strike here ends game 3. Oh my goodness, and the second that you said that, all complaints will go to Tom Twist. I feel a little bit better about not being the Dark Cloud at this point. That being said, Nick Gavrin could
Revert to what I said before that Nick hasn't thrown a shot on this lane in the last 4 shots.
That is true.
So I also didn't think that
You covered yourself that way. Now, Arsenal could still win if Nick makes a spare. But now he's got to make the spare. And that looks okay here. Oh! Nick makes the spare. And with that, Arsenal is already up by 1.
It's not black. It is gray.
Your cloud is dissipated here. Mass Destruction probably would have liked it to return at this point. Because of the spare, Arsenal doesn't need anything. They already have 246 versus Mass Destruction's 245. It doesn't matter here. He gets a strike. At the end of game 3, it is Arsenal 256, Mass Destruction 245. And Arsenal needs one more game, and they will be the new unlimited, uncapped, or heavyweight tag team champions. And an almost 11-month run is in danger of ending tonight at Lodi Lanes. Has the clock, because right now it's 11:42.
So here's what's going to have to happen. The immortal words of Paul Rodriguez. If it's not a walk down, it's not happening.
True.
They're going to have to do a serious walk down on this.
Yep, there's 4 games that are left in this match. Mass Destruction must win all 4 of them because, in the words of myself and Jonathan Dansbury, the margin of error is 0, a.k.a. El Cheapo. And Matt right now already starting with a non-strike. He does make the spare, but wow. Audrey right now is going to start it. And if Arsenal somehow rolls and takes the air out of the sail of Mass Destruction, you can go back to that spare conversion. Wow.
This is a bad decision.
Well, they have no choice.
Oh, right.
Audrey's got to throw the first 3.
Right, based on the... all right, that was a good decision.
Good decision.
I'm not really sure what my decision was based on there. Other than the fact that I didn't know what the rule was there, and I should have known that.
Well, theoretically, I would agree with you that it would be a better decision because we just saw what Nick Gavrin did over there the first ball. That was 210.
That's the reason why I said that. I forgot about the starting and the left and right.
No worries. Audrey right now looking to double up, take the lead for Arsenal. Oh, well, that's a double up, all right. Wrong one. 4-6-7. Now, let's put you in the world of Audrey and Nick at this moment. So you're up 3-0 at this point. You know the lanes are probably, looks like they're starting to transition a little bit. How do you play this in terms of what Nick and Audrey are doing? Keep in mind, they've got a 3-game cushion. They can afford to lose a couple of games at this point. Do you take this game as the kill shot and just try to burn through it, or do you use this game as a transition game, trying to figure something out to get ready for a Game 5?
So I know both of these people very well, and I bowl with both of these people on a regular basis. Nick is obviously the stronger of the two bowlers, but Audrey can string them. So I would try to make my switches early on this one, and then try to make a serious run with one person. I would put one person in charge of what's going to have to come down to the end here. And
That's Audrey. She's the brains.
I didn't say she wasn't the brains. That was not the question here.
I don't think that was in doubt at this moment, Nick.
Oh, This wasn't as far as the brains were concerned. I didn't think we were going to go there.
That hurt my feelings.
We have officially hurt Nick Gavron's feelings.
I don't think that's possible.
Oh, I think it is possible, but not that way.
No, he knows she's the brains of the operation.
All right, now going into the third frame, Mass Destruction actually has a lead. And this is the first time at any point in the game that Mass Destruction's had more than a 10-pin lead at all, anywhere. That's been how dominant Arsenal has been so far tonight. Audrey right now has got the third frame. Now, after she's done with the third, then she can make the tag. Nick says Audrey's got the better look. Based on what she did on lane 38, I'm not sure I agree with that. But fortunately for them, she's on lane 37. And that is where she threw her last strike. And that is where she's throwing another one. Aha, they are going to tag, and here comes Nick Gavron. Tom, is this the person that you want to be seeing for the next couple of frames?
I think that's their better option. I just see that they have to put on some pressure now onto Mass Destruction and see where they can put themselves. He seems to have a better line on both lanes. Obviously, he made a bad shot on 37, but recovered pretty well following that. But I think they're going to use Nick here for a couple shots and see if they can get themselves back into the lead in this game and put some pressure back onto Mass Destruction. I will say something though. Mass Destruction's a team out of Philly, and we're not even really close to Philly right now. And I applaud them for coming up in this direction in order to defend their title. I mean, you said it's 11 months now that they've had this belt, and that's significant. That's bringing it through Battle Bowl. That's bringing it through a couple of major events that these guys have held this. And regardless of what happens tonight, I don't think we'll see the end of these guys, but to come up here, we're probably going to say it's an hour and a half, maybe a 2-hour ride on a night like tonight. It was a bad weather this evening, and they probably had to travel through that. But these guys should be applauded for what they've done tonight to come up here and defend themselves and defend their title. You know, we'll say in a home center for Arsenal. This isn't their home center for their team, but it's not unknown to these bowlers. So.
It's definitely not unknown to Mass Destruction. I mean, we were talking to Matt earlier, and he said one of the reasons why they wanted to come up here is that they've had 3 title matches here, and they've won all 3 of them, and every time they've gone to Lodi, they have not gotten a loss. So if they lose tonight, it's their first loss at Lodi.
Well, that's pretty impressive, actually, considering they're not too close to home. This is what the UBA is, right? I mean, it's traveling around and doing the best in different places, seeing different houses, seeing different lane conditions, seeing different people. Most of these events, that's what you hope for. And as much as you want to see a home, a champion, play the best in their home place, you want to see them also travel sometimes and go to different places and see how they can compete out of their own area, we'll say, out of their own comfort zone.
Well, it's one of the things that I love when I was in the World Championship Series, and hopefully we'll be back in the World Championship Series in terms of competing, is I love going to different houses. I didn't bowl at once ever in what I consider was a home house because I didn't want to. To be quite honest, I wanted to bowl in other houses, and ironically enough, more often than not in title matches, champs that are defended in their own house have lost more often than not. So usually if you have a title, you want to get away from your home house usually. So, but that's what I love about the UBA. The bowlers here aren't scared. They'll bowl wherever. They'll bowl Tuesday night at almost midnight because they will. Right now, Mass Destruction, who needs this game, currently is up right now by 3 pins over Arsenal. Now, one of the things that you said is that you need Nick Gavrin to come over here and throw some strikes and get some carry going on. That is not what's happening. It looks like the transition's going full hold here, and now it could be a grind, at least in this game.
Well, as we said, the right side is going to start to get a little bit more difficult, and maybe he's not catching the transition fast enough. And unfortunately, when you're talking about one game at a time, a walk down is not that hard. Walk downs are easy because when everything starts a transition, it's one shot at a time. And with the tag team, as we see, you can get 4, maybe 5 shots a game at the most at a strike. And if you're not locked in, then everything can change really quickly. And there it is. That's the Nick Gavron spare that won them the game the last time.
And now what they're doing, this is very smart.
Right, yeah, it's just the right decision here. You put a lefty in to see if he can pull this left side and make the spare.
Well, this is tag number 1, and right now, Mass Destruction's running out of frames. We are in the second half of game 4. They're going to go from a lead to losing the lead. At this point, they're going to be down by 10 unless Tyler can make this one, and he does not. So now, Mass Destruction's got 4 frames to get at least 11 pins back on their side of the ledger, or they're losing the title. But as you were saying before, and you're not wrong, a team that I've been on a tag team, we've actually come back twice from being down 3-0 and we win the next 4. It is very possible to walk down on tag team.
As a former champion, I've done my walk down as well. I was down 3-1 actually and walked down a championship title. So, and I speaking as we did before about bowling in home houses, this house that we're in now is my home house. I didn't bowl any of my matches in my home house.
And I think the
championship matches, none of my wins, losses, anything happened inside Lodi Lanes. So.
And if I remember, because I think I did commentary on it, that 3-1 that you came back was at Bowler City, if I remember correctly.
City, and it was against somebody that's in this house tonight too.
That is true. I realize exactly what you're saying. That is true. Audrey Snell right now for Arsenal looking to get the lead. Out of trouble. I was about to say out of trouble. Lifts a 7-pin. Again, she is a righty, so that's not nearly as traumatic for her as it would be for a lefty like myself, for argument's sake. If they make the spare, Arsenal shall be up by 10 going into the 8th frame. If they open, Mass Destruction will take the lead back. Here's a shot. That shot looks good to me, and it is. Arsenal now needs to hold on to a 10-pin lead for 3 frames. If they can do that, they're walking out with the belts. There is the tag. This is game 4, so they got one more tag. Audrey's got to throw the last ball.
I was going to say, if we're not mistaken, I believe Audrey has to throw the last ball of the game.
You're correct.
Here now becomes the same situation as we discussed earlier. Audrey, I don't think has thrown she threw a ball in this game on 38, but she has thrown 1 shot on 38 in the last 2 games.
Yep, and she's got to finish there.
She threw a shot on 38, and that's where she's going to have to finish. So Nick's going to get a shot on 37, which is where he threw a bad shot the last time he was on that lane. And then Audrey's going to have to come back to 38, so I see how this works out.
That is true. Now the other question becomes, can Mass Destruction put any pressure on him? There's Matt right now. That ball almost has to be a strike at this moment. It is.
Good shot right there.
That was a beautiful shot.
It's on. And I believe he has to finish. This is it, right? Is this their last tag?
That's tag number 4, I believe. Actually, no, this is tag number 3 because Matt started the match. So this is tag 3. Matt's got to finish on 37, and keep in mind that's where he threw a strike. So what he's hoping for at this point is a strike from Tyler. Yep. Big shot here for Tyler Wilson. Ooh, 6'10". It's bad for a multitude of reasons. A strike here, they could have put a lot of pressure on Arsenal in this case. One double in the 9th frame, and Arsenal is in a huge position of advantage. That being said, Tyler here really's got to make the spare, and he will. However, all they can do is sit and watch Arsenal's 9th and 10th frame, because right now they cannot lock out Arsenal. And if Arsenal doubles in the 9th and marks in the 10th, you have new Uncapped Tag Team Champions. And here we go. First shot here. Oh, 10-pin. Yeah, if he hit that one, that is huge.
Dagger, as they say.
Yeah, that would have been the dagger. Now again, Gavin taking this himself, 9th frame. Looking to make the spare, and he got it. So Arsenal up by 10 going into the 10th frame. Now both teams are on spares. So for Arsenal to shut out Mass Destruction, he needs the first 2. And keep it, Audrey does need to finish the game. However, if he throws the first 2, it doesn't matter what Audrey does, as long as Audrey gets a pin and as long as they tag correctly. First shot here. Oh, now not only is that not a strike, that is on a spare. And now Mass Destruction is in the driver's seat because they can go out and take this game and force a game 5. It doesn't matter what they do.
It's the last. Matt finishes on 37, right? He doesn't have to tag out or anything. He just gets the finish, right?
Correct. But keep in mind, Tyler, oh, that's right. He did tag it. Correct. So Matt,
In the 9th.
correct. So he's got to play in the 10th.
So it's just going to be on them to get the win.
It's going to be on Matt. That's right. Now, I'm sorry.
Start the old proverbial walk down here. If it starts, this is game 1, right?
Yep, that is true. Now, the reason why Nick tagged in Audrey at this point is that if Nick opened and Audrey did not throw the last shot, they automatically lose. So he had to tag Audrey to make that spare, for anybody that's wondering. Audrey here. And 10-pin.
That shot was mostly irrelevant.
Pretty much.
They still have to throw a double. So,
Correct.
regardless of what happened, once you made that spare, they had to throw a double.
Yep. So key is strike 8. Anything less than that. First ball here has got to be a strike. It is not, and the match is over. Arsenal will be your new tag team champions. And it is 11:58 p.m. and the clock has pretty much struck midnight for Mass Destruction. Their 11th month reign is over. At the end of game 4, Arsenal 192, Mass Destruction 173. Arsenal wins 4 games to nothing, and they are your new champions. So first of all, now before we talk about the wording on the belts, let's talk about the match, because this match went back and forth a little bit. You guys, when you took game 1 and when you took it by a very small margin, did you feel that was going to open up and the momentum came over there, or did you feel it was a dogfight all 4 games?
Pretty close all 4 games. I mean, wasn't an easy match to win here.
It wasn't a given either.
So we weren't given anything. We both had to earn it.
That's very true. Talk about game 3, because Tom and I, for what we thought, that was sort of like the turning point in the whole entire match, even though you guys were up 2-0. because you open there, and all of a sudden they're in this one 2-1 instead of you guys being up 3-0. What was going through your mind?
I gotta make this. What do you think was going through my mind?
Besides, I gotta make this. It was sort of like,
What's going through my mind is I lost the wood twice for my team in the last week by single-digit pins, so that wasn't happening again. Sorry.
it's almost like, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah, no, not 3 times. Nope.
So, now you make the 210. Everybody's going crazy over here at that point. Make the 210, and everybody's going crazy at that point. So, what was the focus for you guys on calming down and finishing out Game 4? Because you guys got to take a siesta. Certainly, Mass Destruction did not fold. They went after you in the 4th game. They actually took the lead, and then you guys threw a couple of key shots to get right back into it.
Personally, always calm. That's my thing. Probably a better question for her.
All right, same question to you then. Since he was so cavalier and so gentlemanly about it, what was going through your mind?
So I'm not as calm as Nick is, but I'm more of a strategy person, and I felt like if I was able to throw a couple strikes, keep my spares going, that Nick was going to be able to pick me up. And we've been really good about strategy this whole last year, which has got us to where we are now. So I wasn't really worried. I threw a split in the 2nd frame, and I just felt like Nick was going to be able to pick me up. So.
Now, Nick said when he was over there chatting with us while you were focused, Nick was over there saying, you're the brains of the operation here.
It's true. We've been all about strategy this year, and it's awesome that we both know when the other one is more on, and Nick has no problem taking a seat if I'm more on, and I have no problem taking a seat when Nick is on. So it's been a really good, this year. I mean, we were on the capped list, and we could never get to the title match. We finally got it here, and I'm very happy.
How does it feel to be the first female to hold that belt?
So I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy that Nick helped me get here, and we both did our jobs, and I threw some good strikes when I needed them and kept my frames clean when I needed them, and I'm just really happy to be the first female.
So it's funny, he's more emotional than you are at this point.
I'm really excited. I mean, I don't even know. I'm kind of speechless right now because I can't believe that we just won 4-0. I really can't. They're a good team. They've had the belt since January. I mean, it was a fight. I mean, every game was close. It wasn't a blowout at all. So we had to do what we had to do. So
it's been a great run. They've actually been to a couple of North versus South matches. Are you looking forward to those? Should you hold on to the belt until March?
Yeah. Hopefully we do. We're looking forward to that for sure.
So now another silly question, just because I know that both of you do have that sort of personality to do something like this. A number of times people have named the belts.
Don't ask me to name anything because this is going to be highly inappropriate.
I'm sure from you it's going to be highly inappropriate.
I got nothing right now.
Gordon will come up with some good names for the belts, don't worry.
Oh, I'm
They'll have
sure.
a good home.
Are you going to have a seat for them for the Thanksgiving dinner?
Of course. Of course.
All right, so any last words, anything you want to say before we sign this off?
It's an awesome match with, Tyler and Matt, and, we're looking forward to the months coming up.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Nick Gavin and Audrey Snell. By the way, that's your first title for Arsenal.
It is.
Now it's only a question. That's only a question of when the Arsenal is going to get more stacked with more belts.
That's right. We're working on it. Slowly but surely.
I'm more worried about the season tour.
That's true.
That's what my bowlers are. So.
There you are. Well, good luck to both. Well, congratulations to both of you, and good luck in continuing. So this ends this. Yeah, I knew that was coming. So this ends this Tuesday night, and a little bit of a surprise, a little bit of a shocker.
He's still the Black Cloud.
Dark Cloud. A little bit of a shocker. Arsenal defeats Mass Destruction 4-0 to win the UBA Uncapped Unlimited Heavyweight Northeast Tag Team belts. Scored and Pepper signing off. Have a good night. Get home safe.